We meet monthly with groups of up to 5 educators. And sometimes we have groups for administrators, like a group of principals come together, a group of teachers, or sometimes specialists like mental health professionals who work in schools. You can provide supervision to people that work together, but you really have to get the consent if they feel comfortable, because each school has its own culture. Some cultures might have a strong foundation of safety where people would feel okay being in a supervision group with somebody they work with and talking about challenges that they're facing, whereas other people might not feel safe in that environment. And so for our groups, they often have people from across the country. We'll have somebody in Ohio and somebody in Tennessee and somebody in Oregon and someone in Florida, all in the same group. They have similar jobs, but they have some anonymity and they can be really honest about what's going on for them. So yeah, I encourage people to try to go in groups where they don't have people they work with, but sometimes people go in groups together so they can support one another as well. And so yeah, we meet every month. They have a trained facilitator who uses our kind of structure and curriculum. And we just kind of go through, we share wins, we share things that are going well, mainly because, you get so focused on the challenges, it's hard to see the things that have been the successes. So we really ground ourselves in that. And then we check in with ourselves. We use a self-assessment tool I've created, plus some different readings to kind of look at how are we impacted in this time. And then we go into talking about cases and we just practice active listening for each other. Because a big part of this work is that we can't solve every challenge people face. Like, we can't change these big structural issues. But what we can do is help people feel heard so that they can advocate for themselves and what they need in an effective way. So it isn't really an event session where people come on and just complain about what's happening. It really is a time for them to think about the bigger issues that they're facing. There's not a real hierarchy. You have a facilitator, but that facilitator can join a group and be a participant, and then a participant in another group can go and be a facilitator, because it really is just one person who's going to hold space so everybody else can kind of relax and just be. Doesn't have to be a therapist. It really just needs somebody who understands how to actively listen and ensure that people feel safe. So yeah, so I need that too. And then we integrate mindfulness at the end. It's quite a range of what educators have had experience with in mindfulness. Like, some educators come in having been trained in mindfulness practices and use them all the time. Some teachers have never even sat for a minute in silence and tried that. So we use basic mindfulness practices that everyone can apply in their classroom. So could be a body scan, it could be a guided imagery meditation, it could be a heartfulness meditation. So just different practices that people can then use in their own life or in their schools.